Okay, good evening po. Ituturo ko po sa inyo paano po mag-edit ng photo sa isang paraan na mas madali. Hindi po kagaya na napapanood natin sa YouTube na karamihan sa kanila is pag beginner ka nahihirapan kang maka-cope up dun sa style ng editing nila dahil napakahirap po, especially if you're a beginner in Photoshop. So, without further po, umpisa na lang po natin. So, I open up a file somewhere in the part of my computer. Then after opening po yung file is the next step I did is I press Ctrl J. And after pressing the Ctrl J, I went po dito sa filter. Sa filter po, may makikita po kayong camera raw. So from the camera raw, I press yung auto, and then yung temperature niya binaba ko po siya ng -13 po. So after that, I went sa clarity. I went to positive 0.29 to 36. And after that, I went to the haze. Ganon din po. I went to positive 23, and then yung vibrance, I went to positive 38. And then after that, I press OK. Yan po yung output. So, okay, papakita ko po sa inyo. Yan po yung original. And then I copied it, and after copying it, I went to filter again, as I had mentioned, and then from the different parts of the filter in which I mentioned a while ago, yun po yung ginalaw ko. So yan po yung output. So the next thing I'm going to do is I add another new layer, and from the new layer, I press G in my keyboard. So yun po, makikita niyo po ninyo na yung mouse ko po naka-pinpoint doon sa gradient. So, dito po sa upper niya, ito po yung gradient color. So, I choose, yung original po nito is, for example, yung white. So, ang gagawin po natin is click mo yan and then delete po yan. Okay, from yung ito po, yung white, gawin mo siyang yellow. Okay. Then after that, you go at the left side ng subject mo, and then pababa mo lang siyang ganon, pero it has to be yung opacity mo is, ginamit ko po is 56% lang. So yan, kita niyo na. Okay. Then after that, I will press then erase. Pero dito sa keyboard ko is E po yung in-erase, pinindot ko. So, I'm showing you po yung keyboard command para hindi na po kayo mahirapan pa sa pagpindot ng mga command tools. So, I just press E, and then I press Ctrl plus to zoom my subject. Now, so that I can see my subject further, I press tab again, and then H to move my subject. H stands for hand. So, and then I press again E, and then to minimize or to, how do I call this one? To shorten your brush, you have to press negative. Open and close. Yan. Yan po. I'm erasing some of the yellow parts dito sa subject ko. Okay. Okay, nakikita niyo naman po na-erase na po yung mga yellow dito sa loob ng subject natin. So, ayan, nakikita niyo na in-erase ko na. Okay. Pero usually po, yung mga bihasa na sa Photoshop, what they do is they use the pen tool. But for me, okay din naman po yun. Pero mas gusto ko na lang pong i-erase siya kesa yung gagamitan ko po ng pen tool. Kasi if I'm going to show you how to use the pen tool, it would be a little bit harder, especially if you're a beginner in Photoshop. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just using the eraser tool. Okay, I'm erasing some parts of the body and the face of my subject, or in short, my subject, because I had used the gradient tool. Ayan, nakikita nyo na po. So, yung ginawa kong gradient kanina is naapektuhan po yung subject natin. So, what I did is I erase some of the gradient inside itong subject ko. So, okay. So, I will show you from the beginning. So, ito po yung original. And then I copied it by pressing Ctrl J. So, after that, I went to filter. Okay, and then from filter, I went to camera raw. And then from camera raw, nakita nyo naman yung pinakita ko kanina. And then the next step is, I made a new layer. Then after making the new layer, I press G to make a gradient. Then after that, I erase yung gradient dito sa loob ng subject ko. So yan, nakikita nyo, nag-erase pa ako. Kasi meron pang mga natitirang konting yellow dito sa loob ng subject ko. Okay, the next step again is I press another new layer, and then I press brush. Dito sa brush po, make it sure na yung opacity nyo, ito yung flow nyo is 100%. Okay, so yung smoothing, bayaan mo na lang. So, ang gagawin ko po is i-click ko to. Okay. So, I made 5 clicks so that I can create a little bit big brush. And then after that, I press again V. V stands for Move Tool. Okay. So, at the same time, I'm showing you paano mag-edit ng post-processing. At the same time, I'm also showing you the keyboard command, because keyboard command is very special. It's very important, I'm sorry, if in post-processing. Okay, after creating the brush, I went again to the filter, and then I went to blur. From blur, I went to Gaussian blur. I went to radial blur, I'm sorry. From radial blur, you can see 3 things dito sa may radial blur. First is the amount. So what I'm going to do is I click the amount into 100%, and then the next step is the blur method. So from the blur method, there are 2 choices. Merong spin and zoom. So what I'm going to do is I click the zoom, and then the quality, I went to best. Okay, from there, makikita nyo parang may X po siya, a positive sign. So what I'm going to do is I go at the center of the positive sign and then drag it at the left side. And then I press OK. Okay, yan. Kikita nyo na. So, again, the next step is I'm going to press Shift in my keyboard and then stretch the rays of light, and then i-tilt ko siyang ganon. Okay, and then press Enter. So, ang gagawin kong susunod is dito sa may layer, makikita mo yung opacity, ibaba ko ng konti siya sa around, okay, that's 73, that's okay. And after that, I'm going to use again the eraser by pressing E, and then I erase some of the rays dito sa loob ng subject ko again kasi tinamaan siya eh. Kasi hindi ako nag-cut. Hindi ko kinat yung subject ko. But anyway, nasa sayo na yan. Okay? And then, I will erase yung part ng banga. Okay? And some of the brush erase effect, I'm going to erase. Kasi too much na siya. Okay? Okay, after that, tama na yan. Okay? After that, ang gagawin ko na uli is I'm going to merge this three new subjects. These three, but before I'm going to merge, I'm going to save it by pressing Ctrl Shift S, and then I went to desktop. Okay, one recovered ang name niya, and then save ko siya. Okay. So after saving that, what I'm going to do next is I press Shift from layer 3 up to layer 1, and then I press again Ctrl E to merge my subject. Then after that, I press again Ctrl J, okay, to duplicate my subject. Then after that, I went again to filter, and then from filter I went to camera raw again. Okay, dito ko nalalaroin yung finale nito. Okay, okay, ang ginawa ko po is ang temperature ko po is nag plus 6 ako, contrast ko is nag plus 13 ako, exposure ko binaba ko ng konti. Okay, and then yung dehaze, yung clarity ko plus 36, and my dehaze is plus 23. Okay, yung saturation ko pwede kong laruin na dito, but I prefer a little bit yellowish, so I nag plus and nag minus 3 ako. So vibrance ko plus 8 ako, and then I press OK. So you can see now the effect, okay, from the original one. So ito yung minerge natin, yan ang effect, and then I copied it, and after copying it, I went to the filter and play with it. Okay, after that, I press again Ctrl J. I'm going to sharpen it. Okay, I went to sharpen, and then from sharpen, unsharp mask ako. Sa unsharp mask, pwede mo nang laruin dito. Let's say, ang amount kong gagawin ko is 0.70, threshold ko is 18. So, I press OK. Ayan, makikita mo na yung effect. Okay. Okay, parang hindi pa ako contento. So, what I'm going to do again is I went to the filter again, and then I went to other, and then high pass ako ngayon, and then 10.0 yung radius niya, and then okay ako. And after that, I went to overlay. Ayan. So, makikita mo na parang naging HDR na siya konti. So, parang sobra. So, yung opacity, baba ko ng konti to 64%. And then, immerge ko na siya. Okay? So, makikita mo na yung difference. Okay? So, if you think that's already okay sa inyo, pwede nyo silang immerge lahat.